You know, we're here tonight because Dayton History is partnering with Westside Future Fund. Both of those are really great organizations who are doing really good work. And I hope that people in Atlanta know how lucky we are to have organizations that are helping to make the community better.
So we're here to bring awareness to our past, and so this party that we're having, Party with the Past, is not to look back in the negative, but to look at the positive foundation that's helped to build Atlanta, to create the community, our values of love, community, inclusiveness, and certainly celebration of heritage.
It's called the Omenala Griot Afrocentric Teaching Museum and Event Center.
I did not know anything about this museum at all, but it really looks amazing. Just, you know, highlighting African American art.
I read the history of the founder and all that she put into the museum, and now her children, particularly her son, is carrying on her work.
I'm carrying on the legacy that my mother, Dr. Narvi Post, started back in 1994. She was a retired school teacher for Atlanta Public Schools, and she really wanted to make sure that the true story was being told about African American history. An old African proverb is the fact that you've got to keep telling the story over and over again, or the story will be lost.
You know, we have in many ways been disconnected with our culture. And so to have a place that lifts up the griot and telling the story of what it is, that our journey from Africa and then all the way in America, I think is essential.
Young African Americans stand on the shoulders of kings and queens. They didn't just appear. Puff Daddy's a bad boy, but King Tut ruled a nation at 13 years old.
There's an African proverb that says that culture without history is like a zebra without stripes. To not understand our culture, our heritage, our foundation, it really brings this void to us as identity, as people, and certainly as a community.
When you first walk in, you'll feel my mother. Her whole being is in there. She loved this place. She even drew the geographical diagram of how the place was to be laid out.
Actually, I've made 2 trips to Africa, so I really identify with the wooden carvings.
The biggest thing you'll see is the preponderance of artwork. African artwork that's there showing the skills and the labors of African American artists.
The artifacts are really interesting, are really unique. It's well laid out.
I thought the masks that they had hanging on the wall were really fascinating, because I think that certainly goes back. I think of that as different African cultures.
Each piece has its own story. Each piece has its own spirit. When you first walk in the door, you'll see what's called an ish. An ish is a figure that protects the African tribe or an African house.
That it's actually showing how the art and culture is vibrant and alive and still moving. Well, I was struck by the people and the variety of people that are here. So the diversity of people really embracing the culture, and it felt very familiar.
Me as an immigrant, I moved here from India, so I'm not very well versed with American history. There's a poster about Black Wall Street and you read about it. I've heard about it but never known what it really is. So it kind of, the history that you read about not being from here, it is very different from what you get to experience in a museum like this.
It's amazing how anybody from any culture, nature, walk of life can be educated just by walking in here.
So this museum celebrates all of that history and its inclusiveness, celebrating our history as a people, but also reminding us that we are to carry the baton forward and to make sure that our city continues to build upon its rich foundation. People should support Westside because the Westside is your side. It's all of our sides. This area of town, again, is the core, it's the center. It's like the root of Atlanta, which everything else springs from. So any good gardener knows that if you want to continue to see fruit, you have to continue to support the root.
I work from volunteerism. Okay, I really need people to come and give me a hand. The Westside Future Funds, they've come here and done tremendous help. They're tremendous help. They've come by. It takes a lot to maintain this place, a lot. And as my fiance says, I can't do it by myself, so I welcome all help. And they came in and did a tremendous job as far as sprucing up the place. And I'm so grateful for Westside Future Fund.
What we really liked about Westside Future Fund is the framework or the model that they used. So they're a community quarterback, bringing in lots of different funders. They brought in the community.
I'm hoping that this stops being Atlanta's best kept secret. We do so much stuff here and we're so vital in the community. It would be terrible to lose this place. As long as I'm breathing, that won't happen. But come on down and help with the community, help with this community, help with the museum, help keep the legacy going, just come and help.